You know, as a child, death always frightens me. Whether I was good enough to go to heaven or hell, whether something would happen with my family or friends, whether if there was an afterlife. Death Parade is based around that concept. Death Parade is a very, very quirky show if you want to think about it. You basically are in limbo and you open up to just a bar, whatever it is, right? And the barkeep says you cannot leave the bar unless you play these bar games. Most of the time, the barkeep threatens with death, not knowing that these guys are already dead. As they play these bar games, they get to more and more understand the memories that they lost while death happened. Usually, as the games go further on, you get to really realize that these characters are actually good characters that deserve to get reincarnated, or these people are terrible human beings that deserve to go to hell. That's the choice of the arbiter. The storytelling is really good because most of the episodes we close in to one of the decisions that Dekim needs to make. One episode is not a long time, but it feels like we get to know every single inch of these guys' lives. Episode 1 is a story about this husband and wife. The husband is very suspicious of the wife cheating on him. The story is absolutely amazing. At first glance, the first episode is very clear. Oh, turns out the girlfriend cheated on him. Whatever. Though, as cliche as it is, the story makes sense and the story was just well thought up. Episode 2 gives us another look at it. It gives us a show that maybe, just maybe, that the girlfriend actually lied to the husband just so that the husband could feel a sense of remorse after death. This is one of the greatest stories to ever been told. Episode 1 and episode 2 is a great just sample of a story, but there's more. There's the story about the detective and the high schooler. There's the story regarding the college student and the girl. Death Parade is an original show made by Madhouse. So everything regarding story, regarding character design, regarding world design is purely made out of scratch. Boy oh boy, Death Parade's world is one of the most beautiful worlds in anime. Dekim looks absolutely magnificent. Dekim is our main character, the main arbiter, who is in charge of the barkeep, Queen Dekim. Later on in the series, we get to realize that he is also in charge of judging Onna, the black girl. Not actually black, but you know, emo girl. Even her, Onna looks fucking amazing, man. She is hot as fuck. She's cute. She is just, oh. The OP! The OP is just absolutely magnificent. It's like truly a legendary OP. If you haven't seen anything before regarding Death Parade, you've probably seen the groundbreaking and just honestly banger of an OP. What makes Death Parade make me want to make this video is the ending. Let me just briefly explain what the ending is. Obviously, spoilers. Dekim is set to judge this girl, the black girl. We get to realize that her name is Chiyuki. Chiyuki basically was this ice skater, right? Who's really good at her job. Won medals and all that shit. She did a trick and her Achilles just absolutely shattered to the point where she cannot ski anymore. She was so depressed, she decided to kill herself. Dekim heard this story, and even then, Dekim just doesn't know how to judge her. So Dekim thought of this brilliant idea of just actually faking a scenario where she has the opportunity to take someone's life away, but she would return to the same position that she was. This was obviously a ruse. Dekim is just a barkeep. He doesn't know what the fuck and how to even do that. By the end of it, Chiyuki does great. She chooses the right choice of not killing the random stranger, but instead owning up to her fault and just choose to die. People's problem of the ending is not necessarily that part of the ending. The ending also has a side story almost about Oculus trying to figure out what the fuck is Dekim doing with Onna, with Chiyuki. And Nonna, who has just been holding back Oculus and just be like, hey, let's fucking see how this plays out, has been doing this for like the whole freaking season. Oculus finally figures out, because Oculus is like close to a god. Oculus decides to add one more rule to the list, is saying that you cannot, as an arbiter, have relationships any kind with humans. See, the show, if you take it from episode 1 to episode 12, realistically nothing happens. Dekim does his job, and by the end of it, Dekim does his job. But if you see it in a meta context, right, a lot has happened. We are talking about a heavenly agency. It is very hard to do any changes because it's been done for centuries, I assume. Oculus needs to step up and make a sudden rule change. That is huge. Dekim, as a character, grows up. Before, he feels very, very little empathy or very bare minimum empathy. Now he feels incredible empathy. Now he has the wherewithal to actually smile, to actually feel human emotion. The whole show just grows up. Even characters like Ginty, who is honestly Chad, but is sort of a dickbag, finally puts judge on Mayu's life, and because of his relationship with Mayu just hanging out, he ends up keeping like a momentum of Mayu with his little fucking creepy ass doll. This show is very, very good in a meta context, in a playing context, in just everything. Look, if you want to have just a 6-hour binge of Death Parade, it's very, very doable. I was very shocked that I finished the show in the span of 3 days. And that's like a record for me nowadays. When people say that Death Parade is their favorite show, I see what they're coming from.